Today, we'll be exploring why Liberia, a West African country formerly somewhat colonized by the United States, has struggled so much despite operating under an almost identical political system. Up until 2005, Liberia was ridden with civil violence and faced extreme political instability under Presidents Samuel K. Doe and Charles Taylor. Current president and former Ballon d'Or winner, George Weah, is only the second to have operated under a mostly stable political climate since the birth of the country. Despite making some progress in the last decade, the country still struggles with rampant unemployment, corruption, and remains among the poorest countries in the world. Liberia's US-based political structure has been proven to work, but not in a poverty-riven, corrupt environment. The structure alone cannot be blamed for Liberia's condition. The country simply lacks the financial means to develop, and corruption goes largely unchecked and is often supported by the political structure itself. President pro tempore of the Senate, Arma Zulu Jala, described relations as cordial, but also pointed out the friction between the two, saying, "Misunderstandings come about because each branch of the government thinks and wants the best for the people of Liberia." Senator Jewel Howard Taylor has similarly described executive-legislative relations as a love-hate relationship. Generally, Liberia's problem of corruption and poverty go hand in hand, and the government does a very poor job of managing finances. Poverty remains one of the most crippling issues not only among citizens but also within the government. In a lot of cases, the government does not report where money has gone, leading many to believe that a lot of the money is being wasted or just going straight into the pockets of government officials. In November of 2017, just before President Weah took office, the government reported $16 billion missing, and the money still hasn't been recovered. Some blame former President Sirleaf for the missing funds, but President Weah has chosen not to audit the former administration, some say due to a close relationship between the two. Sirleaf's clique are seemingly the darlings of the Weah administration. Many point to this relationship of proof of some wrongdoing with the Sirleaf administration, as the two parties are not known to typically have a friendly relationship. Sirleaf has often been critiqued for prioritizing the protection of her administration's reputation rather than cooperating for the betterment of the country. Sirleaf chose to lash out in reaction to the missing money instead of encouraging a cooperative attitude towards an investigation. This sort of behavior is just simply classic Sirleaf. Her image is paramount. Only one government official has been questioned in relation to this issue, and in any developed country, this issue would simply not occur. Both Weah and Sirleaf's campaigns have been heavily focused on helping Liberians in poverty and cracking down on corruption, yet minimal progress has been made on both of these fronts. Liberians are frustrated. Elected positions in Liberia are more seen as personal fiefdoms rather than public service. This problem is prevalent across the entire continent, where elections are largely won and lost on the basis of ethnicity and sometimes religion, rather than a palpable political agenda. So, if we are to see improvement in Liberia, change must come from within the country and within the current political structure. The Weah administration must take action and lead by example in the fight against bureaucratic corruption, and start holding government officials responsible for their actions. Cracking down on corruption should also come with a better management of government finances to avoid wasting the country's money and help lift Liberia out of debt and poverty. Political parties must have some conviction and focus campaigns on a specific issue-based agenda rather than pandering to a hopeful population with false promises. Finally, and arguably most importantly, voters must throw their ethnic and religious biases out the window and vote for candidates and parties who have a clear plan for Liberia's future.